Back to some politics, Mika. Former University of Georgia and NFL running back, now the Republican nominee for Georgia Senate, Herschel Walker, says he wants to completely ban abortion, likening it to murder and claiming there should be no exceptions for rape, incest, or even the life of the mother. But the Daily Beast is reporting this morning Walker urged a woman who asked not to be identified because of privacy concerns to have an abortion after she became pregnant with his child when they were dating in 2009. The woman said she did have the procedure and that Walker reimbursed her for it. According to the Daily Beast, quote, she supported her claims with a $575 receipt from the abortion clinic, a Get Well card from Walker, and a bank deposit receipt that included an image of a signed $700 personal check from Walker. The Daily Beast independently corroborated details of the woman's claims with a close friend she told at the time, and who, according to the woman and the friend, took care of her in the days after the procedure. A lawyer representing Walker's campaign told the publication the story was false. Walker also released a statement calling the story a lie and threatened to sue the Daily Beast for defamation. NBC News has not yet verified the allegations or reviewed those documents. Hours after the story broke, Walker's son blasted his father's bid for a Senate seat, calling him a bad father, a liar, and a hypocrite. In a series of tweets, Christian Walker wrote this, quote, every family member of Herschel Walker asked him not to run for office because we all knew some of his past, every single one. He decided to give us the middle finger and air out all of his dirty laundry in public while simultaneously lying about it. I'm done. He went on, I don't care about someone who has a bad past and takes accountability, but how dare you lie and act as though you're some moral, Christian, upright man? You've lived a life of destroying other people's lives. How dare you? Again, that is from Herschel Walker's son. Joining us now, national political correspondent for Politico, Elena Schneider. Elena, good morning. What more can you tell us about these accusations from the Daily Beast? Who Christian Walker is, besides being Herschel Walker's son, because I think that's important as well. And what this means for Herschel Walker's campaign. Many Georgia Republicans don't seem to mind any of the accusations we've seen come down the pike.
So, look, these allegations just came out less than 24 hours ago, so we're still going to see how this is going to affect this race. But even in these early hours, we've seen that this has had a pretty significant impact on this race. And this is one of the most important races in Senate races across the entire country. This is one where Herschel Walker is challenging Senator Raphael Warnock, who won this seat in the 2021 runoffs, which was important in giving Democrats their 50-50 split in the Senate. So that's how important this race is. But as you said, this is really sort of a 1-2 punch for Herschel Walker in his race. First, we obviously saw the allegations that came out yesterday from the Daily Beast that laid out some pretty compelling evidence about an abortion that he paid for, or that he allegedly paid for in 2009, even though he's a candidate who said that he does not support abortions, and basically in any cases, no exceptions for rape or incest. So this is a clear divergence in sort of what he says publicly, but what he says versus what he does personally. But the second sort of even more devastating blow potentially is what his what his son has said, Christian Walker. So Christian Walker is a TikTok influencer, sort of a conservative Gen Z influencer star who has really become very popular in social media, and who has, been supportive of his father, not so much even on his social media as conservatives in Georgia would like, but has generally been supportive. And so it's notable that he has come out and said that he now is not only told his father to not run, but is really further, bringing to light these accusations about his violence and his hypocrisy. So it's sort of this really difficult 1-2 punch for Herschel Walker. The problem, though, is that, as you said, he's weathered a number of these controversies over the course of the summer and has managed to keep this race very, very tight. And I think it's important to remember how the Access Hollywood tape, although it was very shocking when it came out in 2016, ultimately did not dissuade people from voting for Donald Trump. And I think that in some ways, the electorate in Georgia is somewhat similarly dug in, but it'll be really fascinating to see how Democrats in Georgia try to use this as a way to continue to disqualify Herschel Walker as a candidate.
Yeah, and if the information bears out, Katty Kay, how Republican voters respond to it. I mean, there's two issues here. If the reports are true, it's the ultimate hypocrisy on the issue of abortion, to be against it in any scenario, but to find it convenient in your life. That's the ultimate hypocrisy on an issue that is incredibly important to many Americans. And then I think the letter from his son is piercing. It just remains to be seen if people are tuned in to these issues or just don't care and kind of stay in line again for someone like Trump, for example, without thinking about these details as you would perhaps if it was someone else.
Yeah, I mean, Mika, Willie said earlier on the show that Donald Trump is the strongest force in American politics at the moment. And is it the case in the story of Herschel Walker and this, depressingly dysfunctional relationship he seems to have with his son? I mean, who knows what's going on in that relationship? But does it have any impact, or is it just really all about Trump? Can Herschel Walker get away with anything because he is prepared to support Trump on the single biggest issue that matters to Donald Trump and to Donald Trump's supporters increasingly, which is about the lie around the 2020 election? I mean, Elena, these stories about Herschel Walker have been out there in Georgia. It seems like some people suggesting on social media yesterday, some conservative commentators saying, look, we kind of knew all of this about Herschel Walker, so what does this actually change? I mean, I guess it's sort of all of that's incredible that the stories have been out there and not really aired, and that conservatives don't really care about those stories, particularly when it comes to any issue of hypocrisy around abortion.
Yes, so you're alluding to some Georgia Republicans who basically said on Twitter last night that this is something that was whispered about, gossiped about, and sort of assumed that maybe people already knew about this. But I think there is a big difference, though, between what conservatives and what people who move in political circles know privately and what then voters actually know who are not particularly tuned into elections, aren't paying attention to politics every day, and are seeing pretty devastating attack ads against Herschel Walker. And it's part of the reason why. I mean, look, this is a red state. Georgia is a very, very, red-leaning state, and it's only in the last couple of years that it has suddenly become incredibly competitive. And so I think it's really notable that Herschel Walker, has faced these weathering attacks, yet has kept it close. But I think that this is just sort of another really challenging hurdle that we're going to see manifest in television ads, digital ads, in people's mailboxes, that's going to continue to make them sort of question whether or not this is a candidate that they can support.